be able to offer, I guess, what has now turned out to be a virtual blessing. I will not come around and lay hands on all your bellies, but that's where the food is, right? So we typically offer a prayer of thanksgiving even while we're eating. And so I would like to be able to do that for us today. The sessions that I attended this morning were full of information about ways to relieve stress and anxiety. And if you had an opportunity to sit in on some of those, you would have learned that things like meditation, nature, breathing are all ways that we can meet our day and eliminate some of the stress that we might otherwise anticipate. And of course, I would like to add to that the fact that prayer helps us. And so no matter what faith tradition that you embrace, no matter what you call or don't call God, the fact is that when we pray, we are offering our thanks to something that's greater than us. And once we acknowledge that there is something greater than us, the burden does get lifted. And so I brought for you a verse today that I think fits for the health conference. In 1 John, I read, I pray that you may, why do we use these things, right? I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you even as your soul is getting well. I think that's a fitting verse for today, and if you would indulge me and let us pause in prayer. Gathered this day, we give thanks. We give thanks for an opportunity to grow and learn and be present with one another. We're thankful for all the presenters, for those who are showing us ways that we can holistically enjoy good health. And we give thanks to the God who has presented us with so many opportunities to learn from one another and from him. May God bless us as we continue this day and in his way, and may he bless the food that has nourished us, even as he blesses us with a spirit of thanksgiving. Amen.
How are you doing today? And how was your lunch? That was a long line, but they got you through pretty fast, so thanks for coming. 24th Annual Women's Health Conference, that's amazing. We're hoping to have the 25th, aren't we, Gail? Next year. So when you fill out your evaluations, let us know what you might want to see next year. We certainly want some feedback from you guys who are attending. Gail has given me 7 pages of housekeeping notes, so I apologize. Ahead of it. So, she said something about a beautiful day. At least it was yesterday, right? We want to thank the Mountain Washington Omni and Ann Clark, if she's here, for a great night, great day. Thank you. We have our friends from the North Country Health Consortium, Nancy Franks, Indiana Gibbs, who are our co-sponsors. We really want to thank them. And in order to keep costs down, we have some sponsors that we need to acknowledge. And every year, the lead gift of our sponsors is the LRH Auxiliary. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. Other sponsors here today that we have to acknowledge, because without them we couldn't pull this off. The Omni Mount Washington, CGI Benefits, Griffin York and Krause, Moscona Savings, Sage View Advisory Group, Advanced Graphic Communications, Bank of New Hampshire, Coca-Cola, Garnet Hill, Hackett Valet McDonald, Health Plans, MRS, Presumptive Savings, Salmon Press, Sherwood Dodge, Secure Network Services, and Woodsville Guaranteed. Thank you, all of you. So this year we have over 35 vendors. Please go visit their booths. They certainly like to be here, and they are here for you. The speakers this year, we have 20 speakers, all of which are volunteering their time. So make sure you appreciate them and take advantage of the knowledge they're sharing. A number of the speakers are from LRH and our medical staff and Dartmouth. So LRH and Dartmouth, thanks again. And for all of you who are independent and are here, thank you for your time and being speakers. This event couldn't be successful without some volunteers, so I'd just like to acknowledge them. Ann Rio, Maggie Starr, Sandy Lalou, not the right way to say it, is it? Lori Morgan, Nancy Sweeney, Megan Rillar. Guys, thank you very much for your volunteering at this event. We couldn't pull it off without you. And I have to thank Courtney for all her hard work, despite the fact she's got to work with Gail. Gail, thank you for pulling this off. So there's 340 of you here today, but I think there's more than that, and that's a great number, and we're very happy to see this room full. It's amazing. We thank you for taking your time to come here every year. Woodsville, where are the 12 of you? That's amazing, 12 folks from one company, that's super, so thank you, Woodsville. $75 of you last night spent the night. Have a good evening? Yeah, that number's building every year. That's a great number. Think about it as a weekend trip. So we're going to have a little contest. Who are my runners? We got runners? Ooh, they're out there already. Fantastic. All right. So the first one is a personal interest of mine. How many male attendees do we have here tonight? Attendees, not speakers. We got one. That man deserves an award. Okay, how many of you are celebrating a birthday today? We do? Fantastic. One up here in the front. Raise your hand again. Happy birthday. Well, no, I better not do that. All right, we got any great-grandmas out there celebrating Mother's Day? Great-grandmas, 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, runners, get busy, keep your hands up. Great-grandmas, we're all over the place. Please keep your hands up. You runners, you guys see all these people? All right then. Keep your hands up and we'll just keep adding to the list. So, how many new moms within the last year are here? A couple of you, fantastic. Keep your hands up, let them know. Welcome. Glad you were able to take the time to get here. All right, and then for you moms out there, how many of you have twins or triplets? God bless you. All right, keep your hands up. So, CMEs, you guys know if you need your CMEs, you got to get them downstairs. They're being issued by the North Country Health Consortium. Free health screenings downstairs, back around the conference rooms. Staffed by LRH nursing team. Please take advantage of them. Reiki and chair massages downstairs as well. They'll be there all afternoon. And finally, well, sort of finally, we got to talk about evaluation forms. Please fill them out. Please let us know what you might want to consider next year. Please let us know if you need my dance partner and I back next year. Gail is wanting to cancel us. So only you can make the vote. Aren't you, Gail? Yes. Okay, so I need somebody to pull a name out of a hat. This is all the folks who stayed last night, correct? Am I making this up or does it sound good? Oh, good. She loves me.
I'm going to get the hook in about a minute. D. Byers.
Are you in the room?
D. Byers.
Hey, you got some good stuff. What did she get?
You get an overnight stay at the Omni and dinner for 2.
Whoa! And remember, at the end of the day, all of you have been put in raffles, and the prizes can be found at the registration desk at the end of the day when you hand in your evaluation form. Well, now, this part is audience participation time. We're going to have the pleasure of Judy Edie come on up to help with my friend Rob and I to learn some yoga dance. Now, you do realize this is the part that's participation, so you all need to stand up. Zumba. That's not what it said. It's a Zumba dance. And I got a partner in crime with me today, my brother Rob Mack. And Gail has written in my notes, behave. Good luck, Gail. All right. Well, no, they can't come back every year. All right. We got to let my partner in crime calm down because he's got one more event don't you?
Hang on. Die.
I know that. This next one's not going to help you either. Now, there was many of you who did not participate. And don't think I didn't notice. So this time, everybody needs to participate. That's you guys back there, too.
All right.
Oh, this is going to be scary. All right, so Gail doesn't have a whole lot of money for this event, but that's okay. We actually have with us this today an international rock star coming to us straight from Korea. And I don't make this stuff up. So today, we have a song I think you were all aware of, and a dance, well, you probably have seen it done better somewhere else. But that doesn't mean we're not going to attempt to do it. Are you ready, Sai? Let's go!
I am ready.
Come on, let's get up! Pop! We got lights, we got everything! Let's go!
오빤 강남스타일
Couple more tricks up our sleeve, don't go anywhere. Oh, that's good. So I'm about to need them. Well, there's a reason why Rob and I should not quit our day jobs. Hands off for Rob Mack. Well, the good news is you've survived that madness. And now we're going to move on to the keynote speaker. Whew. I'm not sure I survived. Rob, you're the man. He didn't know what I was getting him into about 3 weeks ago when he volunteered. Slowly as the weeks came through, he was learning more and more about what we were scheming, and he just kept shaking his head. But was all done to help Gail. Yeah, exactly. Okay. If that wasn't enough, well, fasten your seatbelt, you're about to take off. Sorry, that's what it says. I do everything Gail tells me. Don't I, Gail? Linda Larson, author, award-winning speaker. She's a presenter for women's events. with a little bit of a comic slant. She's entertained over 1,000 audiences worldwide. One memorable presentation was one she did in front of 17,000 teenagers. So you guys are not going to be able to scare her. She also has been honored as one of the top motivational speakers in the world, and she's the author of a critically acclaimed book, Truth Power, which is based on her real-life experience of being kidnapped by an escaped convict and held hostage at gunpoint for 5 hours. She will be here to sign books, and she's about to start her presentation. Hey, give me a great warm welcome from a lady from Florida, Linda. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Holy mackerel. Are you free to travel with me and be my warm-up act everywhere I go? Yeah, he's the CEO. I know what that really stands for. Chief Entertainment Officer, Chief Enthusiasm Officer, Chief Eccentric Officer. You pick.
Thank you.
You're amazing. I was talking to some of you earlier. I love to get to know as much about you as I possibly can before I talk. I just can't talk to everyone. But I have a one fill-in-the-blank question. And if you will just answer this one question for me, it will tell me volumes about you. So here it comes, just fill in the blank. There she was, just a-walking down the street singing, woo! My people. That tells me a lot about you. Yes, it does. It tells me some of you might be something close to as old as I am. Yeah. Okay, so here's the question. No, I'm not thinking so. How many of you, like me, were a teenager sometime during the 60s? Let me see your hands. Okay, that's a fairly good number. How many of you, but let's ask this question, weren't even born yet in the 60s? Raise your hands. Oh yeah, that's numbers. Some of you did not raise your hands. I have this image of you sitting there going, well, was I a teenager in the 60s? I don't really remember. Let me think about this. Well, I know that this means one thing for me. It means I have been around a very, very long time. In fact, I graduated high school in 1966 at the age of 18. Some of you are doing math right now, aren't you? Okay, subtract 4, count it. Yes, I've been around a very long time. And as women growing up, tell me if you have the same experience, there are certain things we learned about what it means to be a woman in the world, what our job was, if I may say, what we were responsible for. And here's what I learned about being a woman growing up in the 60s and 70s. I learned that my job as a woman was to take care of anyone and everyone within a 100-mile radius of me. If it needed to be fed, watered, burped, taken to the vet, cleaned, shined, dropped off at the cleaners, it was my job. And I did my job very well, and I enjoyed my job. I will tell you that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the fact that I did love the work that I did to help other people. But here's the interesting thing, and tell me if you can relate to this. On my daily to-do list, which also included a full-time job, by the way, and very soon as a single mom, on that list of things to do every day, there was no line item called take care of yourself. Oh, no. Did you even hear of such a thing in the 70s? Take care of yourself? What does that mean exactly? It meant that I would give and give and go and do, sometimes to my own expense. And I would get to the place where I would burn out, and I did that quite a few times. There was one period of time in my life when I was married to a gentleman, and I'm a happy person. I'm pretty darn happy, and I can give a lot. But it just got to the point where I had given so much that I felt fried, dyed, and laid to the side. I mean, I was like, ugh. And I remember he came home one day and he goes, "What's the matter with you? You're not your normal happy self now. You need to go to your happy place." And I remember thinking in that moment, son, you're about to go to your dead place. And that was when I thought to myself, am I not even allowed to feel frustrated and burned out? Am I not allowed to feel those things? I certainly wasn't allowed to take care of myself. And then I soon began to realize I had this whole picture wrong. There are things that we can do. There are a lot of things that we can do. There's a lot of things that we can do to take care of ourselves. You're doing one of them right now. You're doing a big one right now. You gave yourself the gift of this day. I want you to give yourselves an applause for that. Please, please. And we're going to talk about how important it is to give yourself a round of applause every once in a while. Good for you for doing this. It wasn't like you woke up and said, let's see, I've been doing something for myself every single day of the week. Oh, what else can I do today? That's not what happened. You said, oh, I got it, but I should be doing this, but I really can't afford it. I don't know, it takes a lot of time. But you came. You gave yourself that gift. So no more feeling guilty about it. Just applaud yourself whenever you think about it. See, here's the thing. Stress kills. We know that. We know that it compromises our immune system. We know that it damages our heart, our cardiovascular system. We know that. And yet, we still keep putting ourselves in stressful situations. Oh, have you ever been trying to go out and driving somewhere, you're trying to find a certain location, and you just, everywhere you turn, the signage, if you've ever driven in New Jersey, you know what I mean about signage being very confusing. Have you ever seen that? Which way do you go? That's stressful. So then you make a decision, but of course, it's the wrong one. That's stressful. Maybe you get all dressed up, you have an important meeting, you're looking good. You walk outside, big puff of wind comes along, and poof, bad hair day. Very bad hair day. I don't know what to say. That's stressful. I like to say there's what happened, or there's what I planned, and then there's what actually happened. And those two things are not always mutually compatible. They're just not. So I'm going to talk about some ways today to help you reduce stress and get healthier so that you can take care of yourself so that in fact you can take care of other people. How many of you, let me just do a quick show of hands. How many of you take care of children? Okay, how many of you take care of some grandchildren? Sometimes too, you do that. How many of you take care of some parents? You do that as well. How many take care of pets? Oh my word, the whole room just leapt to their feet. And I wonder if you take care of yourself with as much intensity and care and love as you do everyone else. Well, if you'll do some of the things I'm talking about today, then you're going to be better able to take care of those other people. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying get yourself in the best physical, mental, emotional, spiritual place that you possibly can so that you can do all those things and not compromise yourself, burn out, and get sick. So one of the things that's going to help you do that is the first concept that no one ever told me before, and it's this. You and I, we are creatures of what? Yes, we are. We are wired to keep on doing what we've always done. It's like a gravitational pull. Accordingly, I like to say, just remember to watch, beware of the falling coconuts. Gravity will have them going plummeting to the ground every single time. There is a gravitational pull back toward what we have always done in our lifetimes. If you are the one who always says yes to every request, that is a habitual behavior for you, you're probably going to automatically do it. If you are the person who never seems to take credit for things, you let everyone else get credit, you sometimes I've seen people put themselves down. Anybody in here ever make an actual mistake, a regular mistake that people make in life, and you hear yourself call yourself names in your own head? Ever done that? Yeah, right. It's like, oh, you idiot. You stupid clown. What were you thinking of? We do that. That's a habitual behavior. It does not serve us. Oh, here's a fun one. Here's a fun one. Raise your hand if you consider yourself to be a good multitasker. May I see your hands? Okay. Oh, okay. Dr. Jones, did you raise your hand? Sure. Yeah. You did? Okay. Ladies, a man just raised his hand. You see, the thing is, basically, we are masters at this, women. Oh, well, we think we are. We are the natural multitaskers of the world. Men are more trained, their brains are kind of trained on a different thing. They're more task-oriented. Women, we focus on a lot of things. Multitasking is something we automatically do. You got 2 or 3 babies around, and the phone's ringing and you're feeding people and you're picking up stuff off the floor. You are multitasking, and you do it naturally and you don't even think about it. If this were me and I were in my house and I was at one end of the house, as I would go to the other end of the house, here's what I do before I leave the room. Be thinking, is this what you do as well? Before I physically leave this room and say go all the way to the other side to my office, I first scan the room to see what else might need to be picked up and taken with me when I go. Right? I might look and go, oh, laundry basket. Drop it off at the laundry room. Oh, dirty glass, put it in the kitchen sink. Oh, car keys, hang them back up on the rack. Oh, dog toy, kick it under the bed. Okay. Right? I'm just multitasking as I go along. And ultimately I get there and I've accomplished so much along the way. Now my husband is not quite like this. In fact, it was one day he was sitting at the I was at the dining room table, had a lot of papers spread out, I was working on something. And in my peripheral vision, I couldn't help but notice that he walked past me 4 or 5 times in a very short period of time. He went from the garage to his office, back to the garage, over to the kitchen, over to his office, back to the garage. 3, 4, 5 times in a short period of time. And I couldn't help but notice that the whole time, this man was empty-handed. But no, that's just not right. You can't tell me there wasn't something in one room, flowers that have been spent and are ready for the vase to go back to the kitchen, right? When you walk by and see your flowers are dead, I don't care where you're going, you pick them up as you go along, right? And you drop them off. Well, I figured, I'll get him. I know exactly what to do. I waited until he went into his closet in the bedroom, and when he did, I slipped in behind him when he didn't see me, and I went over and I picked up the dirty laundry basket. I put it right in front of the bedroom door, and then I hid behind this partition to wait and see what he'd do when he came out of the closet. Hey, I figured there were 2 options. Number 1, he would trip over the basket, or number 2, he would just pick it up and take it with him. He was heading that way. Little did I know that there was a 3rd option I hadn't even considered. Oh, don't get ahead of me. Yes, exactly. He turned around, stepped right over the basket, and kept going. What? I figured out what this is, though. I figured out what it is. It's kind of a metaphor, and I got a way to help show it to you better than just tell you. Metaphorically, it's like all of us have an antenna on the top of our heads. How's this work? Okay, so Dr. Jones is looking a little scared. Okay, no, I don't know where my microphone went, but it's in there somewhere. Okay, can you hear me okay? Metaphorically, it's like all of us have this antenna on the top of our heads. Now, ladies, our antenna is at all times swiveling in a 360-degree manner. If there is a shoe sale on at the department store, you pick it up. One child hungry 3 blocks down the road, you pick it up. A man half our age across the room checking us out, we pick him up. Oh no, wait, that's not right. We pick it up. Okay, guys, you have an antenna too. I don't know where the rest of my men in the room are. There's one back there. You have an antenna too. The only difference is that your antenna is sticking in one direction only. No. Don't read anything into that. No, it's sticking in one direction only. And you know what it's on? It's on the task at hand. That's it. That's all you got. It's like you have on blinders and that is the only thing in the world you see. If this were my husband, here's how it would go. He'd be like working on something going, must complete the task, must complete. John, the phone's ringing, could you? No, must complete the task. Honey, this box is awfully heavy. Could I get your? No, must complete the task. John, I'm feeling a little romantic. What? Okay. Oh, yeah, well, don't get too excited. That just became the new task. But that's okay. He's just as focused on that. That's a good thing. Oh, but here's the point. We think we're so smart because we can multitask. But the fact is that the research tells us we really aren't so good at it after all. That all we're doing is compromising the quality of what we're doing, and we are also giving ourselves more stress than we need to. So it's not a smart thing. We could take a page from our Men Friends book, playbook, and just focus on one thing at a time. So if you go back to work, or back to home, back anywhere, and you're in the middle of something, and someone walks in and says, hey, could you help me with this? You can keep doing what you're doing. Just take a look at this while you're doing it. I want you to look right back at them and go, ooh, no, must complete the task. Must complete the task. Come back in 20 minutes, I'll help you then. You just have to take ownership and say, no. So multitasking, not such a smart idea. Helps reduce stress when you just focus on one thing at a time. Now take a look at this. This may be one of the most powerful tools that I've learned in my 60 years on this planet, and it's this one. Harness the power of the self-fulfilling prophecy. You all know what this is, right? It's like you tell yourself something and that's what it becomes, right? You say you're not going to like that movie, you're probably not going to like that movie. You say that you are bad at X, you're probably bad at it. You tell yourself you're pretty good at that, you're probably pretty good at it. See, we think it just happens out here, and then we look at it and define it. But that's not the way it works. First we define it, and then it shows up in our life. What do I mean by that? Well, let me ask you this question. How many of you talk to yourself during the day? Once again, some of you didn't raise your hands. I've got this image of you sitting there going, do I talk to myself? Let me think about this. No, I'm not so sure. Wait a minute, hold on. Yes, we do. The average person, and this is, I don't know, I've read so many studies on this, but one said that the average person has between 40 and 50,000 thoughts per day. Oh, but get this part. 80 to 90% of them are negative. Oh, come on, you know this is true. Your alarm clock went off this morning, there was your first negative thought, now wasn't it? Didn't you go, oh, is it 6:30 already? I don't like this bed. I don't think this pillow's right for me. Oh, it's still cloudy. When is it going to clear up? I can't believe this. All right. Right? We do it. We do it so much of the time. We're on autopilot. It's one of those falling coconuts. It's a habit that we're engaged in. And here's a little video I want you to look at. And you just tell me if you can relate or you know any people like this. Take a look at this.
Whoa, that's not good.
Yes. Already late.
Somebody will come. Anybody out there?
Telephone.
No. Sorry. Somebody! Hello? There are two people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, would somebody please do something? I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me. Well, enough left to do.
Hey, don't worry about it. I'll fix it in a second.
He said he can fix it. All right. All right. That's more like it. He says he can fix it.
Oh, did anybody hear the first words out of his mouth when the escalator stopped? Anybody hear that? Remember what he said? Oh, that's not good. There it was. That is the self-fulfilling prophecy in action. Because the moment he said that, he defined the situation as not good, everything else kicked into place to make it a horrific experience. Let me show you how I like to look at it. Yes, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, but there's another way of saying this that I think even makes more sense to me. It does anyway. It's this. What you name the thing tends to become. What you name the thing. What do I mean by that? We're naming things all the time. This is going to be a good conference. This is going to be a great day. Oh, this is going to be a bad meeting. Oh, she's not going to want to listen to me. Or I don't even know why I bother with this. This is good. This is bad. This is wrong. This is right. Those are all those things out there in the world that we're naming. We're defining. We're saying in advance what they mean to us. And how it works is this. First of all, I'll just give you an example. Let me give you an example. I'm doing a seminar for some folks in Mahwah, New Jersey. It's a full-day seminar. It goes from 9 to 4 o'clock. I get up in the morning and I'm getting everything ready and packed up. It's in Mahwah, New Jersey. It is for Jaguar cars. And I'm getting packed up, ready to do my presentation. And while I'm packing up, guess what? I'm naming the day. I'm defining the day. I'm telling myself how this day is going to go. This is what we do. 80 to 90% of all of our thoughts are negative in this moment. I know that I'm telling myself something positive. Here's what I'm saying. So first of all, I'm defining it. This is going to be great. They are going to love this. They're going to get so much out of this. Why, they're going to invite me to come back and work with another group of their people. They may even pay me with a brand new Jaguar. Woohoo! I'm naming the day. I'm deciding how the day is going to go. Now watch what happens. As you're telling yourself how it's going to go, the next thing that happens is your emotions kick in. So what kind of emotions kick in for me? Positive, happy, excited, fun. Now watch what happens next. Those emotions color how I communicate, how I deliver the presentation. Now watch, how I deliver this presentation gets me certain results. They either like it and want to invite me back, or they don't, and they don't. So here's what I do. I'm packing up, I'm ready to go. They start walking in. A couple things I noticed. There were only 12 of them. All day, 7 hours, only 12 people. They were all engineers. All men engineers. They all walk in right before 9 o'clock. They're all very quiet. There's one long table set up with 12 chairs. They walk in with their pad of paper. They sit down at their place. They lay the paper down. They line the pens and pencils up on the right. They put their coffee cup in the upper right-hand corner. They fold their hands across their paper. They look at me and never say a word. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I am teaching them. The actual name of my presentation is How to Be More Creative. Woohoo! Oh yes, I wanted to say, you want to be more creative, put your coffee cup on the other side and start there. I thought that might be pushing them a little too much though, so I didn't start there. But the bell rings at 9 o'clock and boom, I am off and running. I'm like, you want to be more creative? Ooh, you've got to step outside your comfort zone. You've got to ask a lot of really stupid questions. You've got to play and be silly and explore and laugh and have fun. Woo-hoo. Well, after about an hour and a half of this, I couldn't help but notice that I was getting nothing back from these people. Nothing. They were still sitting there with their hands folded across the paper just looking at me. And it was about that time, about an hour and a half in, when I heard myself think, as I looked across all those blank faces, I remember thinking, uh-oh, I see dead people. And that's when I heard it. I started to rename the thing. In my head I said, oh, look at these narrow-minded, opinionated, left-brain engineers. They don't like me. and I don't like them. I further went on to name it, "This is a waste of my time." Oh, in my head I heard it, it was all there, and the emotions started to kick in right after that. I was feeling resentful. I was feeling a little angry. Now, the next thing that was going to happen was it was going to show up in how I was communicating and delivering this seminar, right? Well, oh, thank you, because right before that happened, the second before I almost went, you know what, let's go home and read the rest of it. We'll just knock off 6 hours early today. And right before I did that, I heard it in the back of my head. I heard a voice. Linda, what you name the thing tends to become. If you don't like what you see, rename it. So I looked out at all those blank faces and I said to myself, oh, look, they are mesmerized by the brilliance of this information. They are transfixed by the possibilities that I see. They're speechless with joy. And that fired me back up. And I'm like, okie dokie. And I gave them everything I had right up to 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock comes. I was exhausted. It was really hard to give that much and have nothing coming back, but it didn't matter. I kept telling myself, they love this so much, they don't even know how to talk. They're just, oh, God. They're inside their heads going, oh, brilliant. Really, she's brilliant. Isn't she brilliant? And outside they're going, but you know, I told myself the story, and I said it works like a charm. Well, about 4 o'clock comes, I'm packing up. Everybody walks out, except 2 men who stopped at the doorway, said something to each other, and then started walking back up toward me. So I'm packing up over here, and I see them in my peripheral vision walking toward me. There was a part of me that wanted to go, run, Forrest, run! And they got back up to me, and one of them looks at me, and he goes, Linda, can we talk to you for just a minute? Yeah, part of me wanted to say, nope. It's 4 o'clock. Talk amongst yourselves if you want to, but I'm out. Of course, that's not what I said. I said, sure. He said, several of us went to lunch together and we were talking about this class. We decided it may very well be the best class we've ever attended. Yeah, and then, oh, but this is the one. Then he looked at me and he went, yes, I don't know when I've ever laughed so hard in all my life. No, there was no laughter. I heard a loud burp once, but there was no laughter. And then he said it. His exact words to me were, would you come back and work with another group of our engineers? I had mixed emotions. But of course I said yes, right? I mean, that's what I had told myself in the beginning of the day, that was what was going to happen, that they were going to invite me back. Now let me ask you a question. If at about an hour and a half in, I'd allowed myself to go where my brain tried to take me, to this is a waste of time, they don't like me, this is awful. If I'd allowed myself to go there, would I have gotten the same result at the end of the day, yes or no? Not at all. Is that a mind game I played with myself? You betcha. And it's one that served me very well. But it comes back to a psychological principle that is actually grounded in research. It's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you name the thing tends to come. By the way, they did not pay me with a brand new Jaguar. You can only take this stuff so far. So just hear me on that one. But you know, I got to thinking about this, and I got to thinking, see, here's how it works. When you put emotion into what you're saying, how you're defining the day, it's going to be wonderful, it's going to be amazing, it's going to be fantastic, when you put that emotion into it, ooh, that's what fuels everything. That's what just almost makes you levitate off the ground and be able to accomplish so much more. It makes people want to follow you because you look so happy. They don't know what you're up to, but they want what you're having. So they follow you. So you put emotion into it, and then it really becomes true. So we're going to play a little game. We're going to name something right now. In fact, we're going to name this conference. Yes, we are. So the words are, this conference is blank, this conference is blank, this conference is blank. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put the words up here on the screen. But I don't want you to sit there going, those conferences good, those conferences is wonderful. Would you believe you if you did that? If I came up here and went, I'm really happy, I'm so glad you're here. You'd be like, oh my God, this is going to be long. So we're going to give it everything we got, all right? So the words are, this conference is, and you'll see the word up here that you're going to add to it. And we're going to do 3 in a row. Are you ready? Okay, take a deep breath, sit up straight, sit up full, breathe. You've been going to some breakout sessions where they're talking about this. Yeah, fill up your lungs with air. Fill up your lungs with love. Here we go. This conference is amazing. This conference is fantastic. This conference is the best one ever. Woo-hoo! Yes, it is. What you name the thing tends to become. Name it fabulous. From the moment you start your day, this is an awesome day. This is a fabulous day. I am got so many blessings. I am rich with love. This is wonderful. I want you to imagine whatever you say. Some big voice of God behind you simply says, right you are. Okay? I'm so blessed. Right you are. I'm happy. Yes, right you are. This is a great day. Right you are. But see, here's the problem. If you say, oh, this is awful, you're still going to hear, right you are. That's how powerful you are. You claim it, but you name the thing tends to become, because there are massive forces behind you, no matter what it is you say. Okay, so with that in mind, let's talk about this thing called happiness for just a second. Because talk about reducing stress, laughter, happiness, optimism, anecdote distress. So many studies have proved this. You probably have heard it already in some breakout sessions today. You've heard other speakers talk about the power of this. But I always wanted to know, well, how can I be happier? What do I have to do to be happier? Because I know that when I'm happy, I'm producing endorphins and all those wonderful brain chemicals that make me feel wonderful and that heal my body. And when I'm stressed or angry or upset, I'm producing other kinds of chemicals, cortisol, not so good. So how do I get happier? Well, according to the research, did you know happier people are more resistant to infectious diseases. They may catch less flus and colds and things like that. They, according to some studies, may actually even live longer. Oh, they do better on aptitude tests. They do better on the playing field. We want to do business with happy people. We like them. We want to marry them and have their babies. We love happy people, right? We love happy people. Now, there was a thing about marriage, and there was some studies at one point that said that married people were happier than unmarried people, and then they thought, well, maybe they were just happier to begin with, we don't know. But I saw this cake topper on a wedding cake, and I thought, I'm not sure about this couple. I'm not sure where they're headed exactly. But we're going to get into this thing called happiness, and here's the first thing I want you to think about. I want you to embrace the concept of immersing yourself in happiness, in these things that we know are going to make us feel happy. We're going to immerse ourselves in that. It has to do with what you're focused on, what you're looking at. How many of you like to watch the news when you wake up in the morning, turn on the news channel while you're getting dressed in the morning? Okay, great. Stop that. Don't do that anymore. No. You might feel good when you wake up. And in a very short period of time, you're going to find out how many people were killed in this, how many people were bombed in that, how many people, the tornadoes and the thing, the death and destruction and the mutilation, and you're going to be so depressed. And your body is going to just wither. Don't do it. You want to get news? I say, of course we have to get our news. Get it in the middle of the day when your brain is alert enough to go, no, I'm not going to let the pain of that get into me. If I want to take some action and help with that, I will, but no, I'm not going to be so vulnerable to the emotion of it. In the middle of the day, and preferably online, where you don't have to watch all the video clips of the bad things happening. Get your news. Don't do it first thing in the morning. Don't do it last thing at night, okay? Okay, what books are you reading? What books are you reading? What are you focused on? What are you thinking about every day? Oh, by the way, if we had this many thoughts, 80 to 90% of those 40,000, what is that, like 32,000, let's say 32,000 negative thoughts a day. You know where they start? They start the second your alarm clock goes off, but they start in the shower as well. Have you, like me, ever been in the shower and you're in there going, oh, my bunions hurt, I don't think it looks like, I didn't sleep well last night, what's that, I had too much salt in my diet, I don't know if that meeting's going to go well today, right? We started right there. So I have decided, and I'll show you how to do it too, it's not just a concept, it's how to do it. Every morning of my life to take a 5 to 7 minute gratitude shower, because we've got wonderful studies on the power of gratitude and how it activates certain regions of your brain that are healing you and producing chemicals that are very conducive to good health. So just focusing on what you're grateful for. So I thought to myself, well, I'll do that. But I am a creature of habit, and I have a lot of negative thoughts. And this didn't automatically happen for me. So what I did, which is what I'm encouraging you to do, is I went out and I made a little sign, and I laminated it, and I hung it on a plastic cord, and I hung it in my shower. You've got a printing store, or office supply stores where they laminate stuff. Just print it up on a little piece of paper, make it colorful, and go hang it in your shower over the shower head. Now, while you're standing there, you're in your shower, you're going to do this. And it's so cool, because at first you're going to get in there and go, oh, yeah, I got to do that gratitude shower thing. Okay, so I'm grateful for my shower. Yeah, that's it. I'm grateful for my shower. A lot of people just have a bathtub. I got a shower. Okay, what else? Well, I'm grateful for my house. Well, I'm grateful for my husband, of course. Oh, and my children. I love my children. My dogs. I got the best dogs in the world. Oh, my hair. I've got good hair. You want to know the truth? I've got, and there, you know, it's like, you're just going to be so happy when you come bounding out of the showers. You may have like slopped in like this. But then you're going to come, boom, out at the end. Now, you walk out into the world. You go into the workplace. You go into the grocery store. You go somewhere where you know that person, every time you say good morning, they look back at you and go, yeah, what's so good about it? You know that person? You got it now, buddy. Let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to go, good morning. They're going to go, yeah, what's so good about it? You're going to say, ooh, I'm so glad you asked. Well, I have a shower. A lot of people just have a bathtub. I got a shower. I got a great house, wonderful husband, fabulous kids. I got a lot of great dogs. Got pretty good hair if you want to know the truth. Listen, I got to run now, but I'll come back and tell you some more in a little while. Bye, and off you go. It works. It so works. I'm not kidding. Take a gratitude shower every single solitary day. Oh, what about the music you listen to? Does that music make you feel good? Well, I would bet you that there's a lot of people here who listen to some really amazing music. Music can change your emotional state like that, can't it? Shall we test it? I think that our chief enthusiasm officer, Warren, demonstrated that already. But I'm going to ask you, I'm going to play something, and I want you, we're going to do it as volume as we can, and I want you to listen to your day. It's your day. If your body feels like moving, let it move. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you just want to sit there, sit there. If you want to just nod your head, snap your finger, whatever you want to do. Do you know that every time you move, you have done something good for your body in that moment? These two guys who got up here and danced all over the place, they did some really good things to their body, I hope. By the end of the whole thing, I was like, are the paramedics ready? Because they were giving it their all. Okay, so we're just going to play this, and before we do, I want you to take a reading, emotional reading, how happy you are emotionally, from 0 to 10 right this moment. 0 being you are comatose and drooling in your lap. And 10 being you are so happy you can't even stand yourself because you just won $80 million. Okay, so pick a number between 0 and 10. Got that number in your head. We're going to tell your partner that number. So take a quick look at the person sitting to your immediate right. Quick look. Quick look at the person sitting to your immediate left. Quick look. Now pick the most intelligent looking one. No? Just tell someone your number. Tell them your number. Okay, 0 to 10, you got your number. Okay. Now remember, I'm going to play this. It's just something fun. You get to look at it. You get to move your body a little bit. Let's go. Did your number go up at all? Yes or no? Tell your partner your new number. Okay, by the way, I'm not sure what the number is in terms of how many times people have watched this video. It's been around a while. But I think it's, I want to say something insane, like 50 million times. That's why. Why are people turning into that video to watch it? Because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel happy. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of. You ask parents what do they want more than anything in the world, they just want their children to be happy. That, right there, that's cheap. That costs you nothing. You go to the internet, you search it, you turn it on, and it just makes you feel good. And then you have a smile on your face, and you go through life, and cool stuff starts to happen. Like people smile back at you, which takes me to my next point, which is this. Hang around with really happy people. Some of my friends at a meeting we were at, let me ask you a question. How many of you live with a difficult person? Let me see your hands if you live with a difficult person. No pointing. How many of you work with a difficult person? Uh-oh. Really, no pointing. How many of you are the difficult person? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it can be a little challenging sometimes, right? But here's the thing. Sometimes we have a choice in who we hang around with. We do. And I have a great friend that I love her very much, and I know that every time she calls me, or every time I call her, I will say, hey, how you doing? And here will be her answer, without fail. That's the start. And then she goes, I'm surviving. I want to go, oh, but what you name the thing tends to become. Is that the most you're hoping for? Just to survive? No, see, you hang around with people like that and it does it to you too. That doesn't mean you abandon your friends. No, not at all. It means that when they call you, you look at the caller ID and you don't answer the phone. But you call them back. I'm not saying you don't call them back, but you just call them back at a time when you know they're not going to be there and you're going to get their voicemail. And you leave them a great message. Oh, I'm so sorry I missed you. How's it going? What's happening? Well, I tell you about my brother. Oh, I love my brother. He's wonderful. But if there is something that could possibly go wrong with anything, he will find it. He will find it. I once said, oh, Rock, let's stop at this on this field. We were driving somewhere and it was really gorgeous. I want to take a picture of the cows. Let's stop. And he's like, oh, you don't want to stop there. There's bound to be ant beds. You're going to step in ant beds while you're trying to take those pictures. Let's stop. I'm not kidding. And now he's, and you name it, it's going to find. So every time I ask him how he's doing or what's going on, he starts into the litany. Oh, work's scary. They're doing bad things. They're trying to take away my pension. They're going to try to retire us early, and they're not going to give us good package. And on it goes. And I could just like lay the phone down, go over here, get a drink of water, come back, pick up the phone, and not only that, but they're going to be doing that. Right? So here's the thing I started doing, and it works like a charm. I'll say, oh, Rocky, that sounds awful. Let me ask you a question. Did anything good happen this week? There's a little bit of a pause, not long, a little bit of a pause, after which he answers, nope. I went, no, think about it. I'm really curious. Did anything good happen this week? A little bit of a longer pause. No, not really. I go, oh, but if there was one thing that wasn't even very big, but it was just a little thing, what would it be? Longer pause. Last time he went, I did get a good watermelon the other day. I'm like, yes, right on. No, because you can do it. You can do it. You don't have to allow them to take you to where they are emotionally, because somebody is going to catch somebody's emotional state. Just refuse to go there. Just, if they try to bring you down, go, oh, no, blissful. I'm doing blissful today. Talk to me later. Right now, blissful. It works. Listen, they will leave you alone. They're going to be looking at you going, oop, weird. She's very weird. Still weird. I want to introduce you now to the happiest person I've ever known in my life. Boom! There he is. That is my husband. John Scalzi. He is a weatherman for an ABC station down in Central Florida. He's a meteorologist, but I call him my weather muffin. The man is happy, I'm telling you, 95% of the time. 95% of the time, that man has a smile on his face and he is happy. He's happy when he's cooking. He's happy when he's sleeping. He's the one on the bottom. He's just a happy, joyous man. And I know some of you are thinking, well, good for you. You got a happy one. Well, I did get a happy one. But here's the thing, and this is what's so cool, and this is why it's important who you hang around with. If you ask him why he's so happy all the time, I've actually heard him say, it's because he hangs around me. No, make no mistake about it, it's him. It really, really is. But doesn't that make you stop and think? Why would that be? Well, I can tell you scientifically why it would be. It would be a direct result of these guys, mirror neurons. That means that if I'm really happy about something and I'm like this, and you're looking at me, the same neurons that are firing in my brain while I'm so happy start to fire in your brain as well. That's called rapport. That's why you get in rapport with people. And let me tell you something, if your brain starts firing happy with me, then you're like, oh, I feel so good, don't know why, don't even care, just feel good. So mirror neurons, that's what does it. So you can create happy people with this. Use your mirror neurons to create happy people. How do you do it? 2 really simple things. Here's number 1. Look at that. You just did it. Thank you for proving my point. Your mirror neurons just went push. And you immediately broke out into a smile. That does it. Oh, remember the falling coconuts. If you don't smile automatically and habitually as you walk through life, then you're probably not going to smile automatically and habitually as you walk through life. So what that means is you have to consciously think to smile. Now, this doesn't come naturally for me to smile all the time. But smiling is a behavior that comes out of an emotion, right? Because I'm backing up what you name the thing you think tends to become. The behavior of smiling comes out of an emotion of joy and happiness. And joy and happiness comes directly out of what I'm telling myself. And what I'm telling myself, how I'm naming the day as I walk in here in the morning is, oh my gosh, 350, amazing! Why start to say women? People. Men people and women people. But they're going to be so wonderful and they have a great day and this is going to be awesome and I'm so excited. So that's where it all comes from. And so you can begin to see that the smile shows up as a direct result of what I'm thinking. And then I have more happy people. Where's Denise? Where's my Denise with the dimples? Denise has dimples, and I have a theory about people with dimples. I believe that more people smile at people with dimples because they look like they're smiling all the time. So Denise walked up to me, and I looked up and went, oh, hi. I didn't even know why. I mean, she was smiling. She maybe wasn't even smiling, but she looked like she was smiling with those gorgeous dimples. So paint on some dimples, and then more people will smile at you. I don't know. So smile more. You know what I'm going to do? I know this sounds weird, and I'm saying this for the first time ever, because I was thinking about it this morning when I was walking through the hotel, and I thought to myself, Libby, you're not smiling. I wonder if you look cranky, because you're not smiling. And I thought, well, then it just means I'm not thinking about the things that would make me smile, so let me think about the things that would make me smile. And then I thought, what if I forget? How will I remind myself? And I thought, I know exactly what I'm going to do. You could do it too. I've got this picture in my iPhoto somewhere. I'm going to print that picture out. And I'm going to laminate it, and I'm going to put it on my desk. I wonder if every time I look at that picture, I'm going to break into an automatic smile. I think I will. If you got a grandbaby or a baby that's looking real happy like that, you print that picture out, laminate it, and put it right next to your face where you can see it. I want to put this on a chain around my neck and carry it with me everywhere I go. And if I don't feel like smiling, I'll just hold it up to other people. They'll smile. So smile when you see people. The other thing is use flying eyebrows. That is actually my husband, John, and here's the thing about flying eyebrows. When you see someone that you haven't seen, even if you have seen them in a while, but especially if you haven't seen them in a while, If you like that person, the first thing that happens is your eyebrows kind of go flying up off the top of your head, right? My son was the one that told me that. He goes, Mom, boy, when somebody's happy to see you, did you ever notice their eyebrows go flying off the top of their head? You're so right. So I thought to myself, why don't I do that? Why don't I break out into a big smile when I see someone? So instead of just, tell me your first name. Judy, Judy, Judy. Of course I know it's Judy. So, by the way, it's hard not to smile at Judy because she smiles all the time, and I love that about her. So I'm going to try to pretend not to smile at Judy. So if I walk in and I see her and I just go, good morning, Judy. How you doing? Yeah, it's not good to see you too. Right? It's like, oh, ooh, who wants to work there? But if I walk in and I see her and I go, Judy, hi. Did you see what just happened? First of all, she just broke into a smile, wrapped around her head and came back in. Her face hurts. But the flying eyebrows. So let's try it right now. I want everyone to just go ahead, just lift your eyebrows. Everybody lift. Ooh. Lift, lift, lift. Ah! Some of you can't even find the muscle. Is this a big Botox crown? Lift! Some of you just look startled. Do not do that. Do not go back into work tomorrow and walk in and go, hi. How's it going? Everybody good? Don't do that. They're going to look at you and go, whoa, drugs. But smile, flying eyebrows, hello, good to see you. We want to acknowledge people because I'll tell you something, as women, you know this is true. You know this is true. One of our greatest sources of joy is giving other people sources of joy, is being a source of joy for other people, right? We love that. We love to make people feel good. There's a way to do it. And then they will, and you know what? Maybe they won't smile back at you. Maybe they'll look at you and they'll just go, yeah, whatever. Okay. Just bless them and move on. You know, you're just doing the best you can and they're doing the best they can. But you've just chosen happiness. So, use flying eyebrows. Okay. I have two more things for you, but this one's really good. How do you manage the stress when things go wrong? I love this concept. Some of you are old enough to remember. They may even still have them. Does anybody ever remember Bozo the Clown? Remember Bozo the Clown? When you hit Bozo, what happens? He bounces right back up. It's called resilience. And what I found in my life, because there have been times in my life I didn't bounce back up so well, but there have been times also in my life when I did, and I realized what I was doing differently at the time. But when things go wrong, it's this thing called resilience that gives us the ability to manage those tough times, rise above them, and come out stronger and healthier on the other side. How do you do that? There's 3 things to do when things go wrong. 3 steps. It's just 3. Number 1, fix the problem the best way you can. Just fix the problem the best way you can. Number 2, and this is cool, rename the problem. This is awful, I can't believe they did that, this is just going to ruin our whole day, this is like, oh, okay, here's an opportunity to learn something new. Whoa, here's an opportunity to shine, to provide amazing customer service when I solve this problem. Rename it, and then the last one is just move on. Move on. We all know people who've had bad things happen, and they will tell you about it every time they see you for the next 10 years. And not only that, let me tell you what else she said, you know, right? And they're just dragged down the hole again. So fix it, rename it, move on. If you think about the guy on the escalator, right? All he had to do was, okay, I have a problem, the escalator stopped, let me fix it. Oh yeah, it goes like this. Then he gets to rename it. Not, oh, it's the most awful thing that ever happened in our whole life. I can't believe these stupid maintenance people, they never fix anything, they're so bad. No, he could have said, how cool is this? I thought I wasn't going to get any exercise in today, but I just did. I did the Stairmaster, woohoo! And then move on. Forget about it, it's done, it's over. Not him, not her. I bet they went and told everybody in the entire building for the rest of the week about the bad thing that happened. Fix it. Rename it. And move on. Give it a different meaning. This is how I learned this one. It was 1969, and I was 21 years old. I was married, divorced, and I had a 2-year-old baby boy. And I was working in a law office as a receptionist, making $55 per week. And I was also suffering from panic and anxiety attacks and from clinical depression. And the depression got so bad sometimes that there were some times I really came very, very close to taking my own life. More times than I care to recount. And such was the case on the morning, I remember specifically December 5th, 1969. I woke up, I fell headfirst into that place. I remember lying in bed with the covers up around my neck. It was cold. And I remember all I could hear myself saying was, I can't make it. I cannot make it for one more day. I can't do it. I can't do it for one more hour. And then the words started playing in my head like they were on a loop, continually wrapping around. I'm ready to die. I'm ready. I'm ready to die. Now I need you to remember those words because they come back in the story in just a moment. And by the way, if any of you have ever suffered from depression or anxiety or panic attacks, you know what that feeling is like. It's like someone just sucked you right out of reality, and it's just too terrifying to be there. But it was just about that time as I was on that loop feeling like I had no choice but to end this misery by taking my own life. I heard my son stirring in the room next to me, my little 2-year-old baby boy, waking up. And I knew that I had to make it somehow, at least right now. So someone encouraged from I don't know where, I pulled myself up, I got dressed, I got him dressed and fed, dropped him at daycare, went to the law office, sat behind that receptionist desk, holding on to my sanity by a thread. Barely breathing. Panic-stricken. Terrified. And that was the morning at 11:30 a.m. when in through the front door burst a man in a convict prison uniform brandishing a .357 Magnum. It turned out that he was an escaped convict from a road gang. He had jumped the guard, stolen the gun, fled on foot, went into the first office he found. It was mine. He grabbed me by the arm. He slammed the gun in my face, and he said to the 2 attorneys who were standing there at the time, "Give me your car keys. Give me your money. I am leaving. I am taking her with me. Don't call the cops or I will kill her." I need you to think back for just a moment to the emotional state that I was in before the man came in the room. You remember that? Can you even imagine where I went at this point? Well, by the way, I don't know if any of you have ever seen a .357 Magnum or not. I hadn't. But if you have not seen one, that's what it looks like. Ah, but that is not what it looks like when it's 2 inches from your face. No, no. Then it looks something like that. It's true. Well, he took me to an abandoned house, and there he held me hostage for over 5 hours, and I guess I had what Dr. Phil would have called one of life's defining moments. It actually happened after he had allowed me, or we'd been there maybe 2 or 3 hours, he'd allowed me to sit in a chair in the living room, and he pulled up a chair and sat across from me, maybe 8 feet across from me. He sat in his chair, just staring at me, not saying a word. I felt frozen. That's the only word that still to this day comes to my mind. I just felt frozen inside and out. All of a sudden, out of absolutely nowhere, with no provocation whatsoever, after this long silence, he slowly raised the gun. He pointed it directly between my eyes. He cocked the hammer. And his exact words were, "Are you ready to die?" Whoa. There was a part of me that wanted to say, "Funny you should mention that." I was just thinking about that this morning. Are you psychic or what? Well, that is not what I said. Oh, but in that moment I got it. Well, I got several things. Number one, no, I was not ready to die. Wow. But don't you find it ironic that 7 hours earlier, not only did I think I was ready to die, but I was ready to take my own life. Be very, very careful what you wish for. Because what you name the thing tends to become. And I had named myself worthless and not worthy of living. And so it was becoming true for me. Well, the other thing that happened that moment was that I realized that if I was going to escape, I had to in some way befriend this man, and that's the only word I can come up with. Certainly, I didn't want to be his friend, but I had to get some kind of rapport with him, some kind of relationship, some kind of something that would make him drop his guard just a little bit so that I could find the time to escape. And after over five horrific hours, that's exactly what happened. He didn't let me go. No one rescued me. I escaped. And oh yes, it took me a while to get over this. But let's take a look at that procedure for just a moment. When things go wrong, fix the problem, rename it, and move on. Okay, when I was in the situation of being kidnapped, I had to fix the problem. That's all I could focus on, fixing the problem. And I did. I fixed the problem. I escaped. But as soon as I escaped and got back to my real world, I had a new problem. How do you deal with that just happened? That was my new problem. How did I go from suicidal one moment to being kidnapped the next? How do I make sense of all that? So I had to go get some help. And since I didn't have any money, I went to a social service agency and was blessed enough to find a man who was so wise and wonderful and walked me through the whole thing. And he's the one that really taught me the whole idea that, Linda, what happened to you doesn't really have any meaning attached to it. It's not good or bad, it's not anything. You're going to call it bad, you want to call it bad. You want to hang on to it, call it bad for the rest of your life, say that you really are a bad person and you can't now go out there and have a happy life because that's just how bad. You could say that, or you could give it a different meaning. You could call it something else. And after working with him for a while, I came to a place where I decided what this event meant to me. And I'll tell you today what it was. It was, this is what I've named it, the absolute greatest gift I have ever been given in my life, bar none. Because if it hadn't been for that encounter with that crazy man with the gun, I know I would have succumbed to my illness and taken my own life. I know I would have. I was that sick. But because of this incident, I was forced to see how much I wanted to live and how much I had to live for. And how, wow, how about this one? How good I was at handling a tough situation. That was pretty weird, but I saw that also. So that's how I renamed it. And then I got to move on and say, how can I take the gold with me? Is there anything I could share with other people that might help them get over things that happen to them? Because stuff happens all the time that never should have happened. Bad things have happened to you. They never should have happened. And maybe there was some gold in it for you. And do we have to grieve those things? You better believe it. Do we need to be sad and figure it out? Absolutely. But there comes a time when we say, all right, I own this now. And I'm going to say what it means. And I'm going to say it made me stronger and more compassionate and more loving. And that now I can help other people. Whatever it is, what is the meaning for you? What you name the thing tends to become. By the way, listen to this. If this isn't that whole, this, by the way, is the book True Power, which is the story of the kidnapping. Actually, more the story of the escape. But listen to this. It's the words of Dr. Norman Cousins. He's author of The Anatomy of an Illness. He said, words can kill, the words you're telling yourself. He said that when a patient was diagnosed sometimes and had an actual word to define his symptoms, he got sicker. Words like Parkinson's disease, cancer, and heart disease tended to induce extreme fear and panic in patients. Those feelings then began to undermine their body's immune systems. That's what you name the thing tends to become. That's the power of your words. So I don't care what you've got going on. You know, it's like maybe you want to go get in shape and you want to go to exercise. Oh, I'll never be able to do this. Right you are. Oh, I'm just too tired. Right you are. I'm exhausted. Right you are. I'm dead tired. Whoa, you want to be careful about that one, don't you? I'm dead tired. You don't want somebody going, right you are. Okay, I'll make that happen too. So just remember what you name the thing tends to become. Okay. Oh, here's another one. You don't take credit for yourself. I know you don't because I'm you. We do cool stuff all the time and we don't say thank you. Sometimes we just go, oh no, it was nothing. right? Oh, your hair looks so pretty. Oh no, my roots are showing. See, they're just really, it's bad. What a nice blouse. No, it's got a rip and I got it on sale. It was on the sale rack. It's like, no. I want you to take credit. I do. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to divide the room in half. And we're going to take credit for just a moment, and we're going to give credit. We're going to take credit and we're going to give credit. We're going to divide the room right down the middle. First is going to be this half of the room is going to receive credit. And you're going to give it. And then we're going to switch. Now, I want you to think back to when you were a little kid, or if you watched your grandchildren or your children when they did their gymnastics. And when they were finished with their gymnastics and they did their little tumble, what did they do? Ta-da! Remember they did that? And it was so fun. Now, it may be hard to walk into work and do that every day, but you're going to get to do it right now. So, I want you all on just this side of the room is going to stand. Just this side of the room, I need everyone to stand. If you use a wheelchair or a scooter, that's okay. You can stay in it, but just use your hands. Okay, on the count of 3, with everything you got, proud of everything you have accomplished in your life, you amazing, wonderful person you, I want you to go, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go, ta-da! Wait. Because when you do that, and you're going to give it everything, but you're going to face those people. And when you do that, these people are going to leap to their feet, applauding you like there is no tomorrow. Okay? Let's just do that one for right now. On the count of 3, I want you to do the ta-da. Okay? You ready? And you know what you're supposed to do. So get your chair out, move, get ready to go. Get ready. I don't want it to be this. I don't want them to go to time. You go, wait a minute, hold on. Move my chair. Okay, you ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now you stay standing. You sit down. You stay standing. Okay, perfect. Everybody sit down here, but be ready to get up. Okay? On the count of 3, and you guys give them just as much as they gave you. Take your credit. 1, 2, 3, go. When you go home tonight, your husband is going to be sitting there. He's going to be minding his own business. I want you to walk in the front door and go, hey, you, ta-da! I'm not sure he's going to leap to his feet. How many of you are on Facebook? Oh, please, let's connect. Please, go to that crazy page. The one with the wacky hat, it's that thing, the CSP, Human Motivational Speaker. There's another one of me, but that's not it. One with the wacky hat. Go there and hit the like button. I publish funny things, wacky things, things to make you laugh, some things to make you think, some things that will really help you in the outcomes of your life. But please hit the like button and we will stay connected forever. And you can message me and ask me questions. And when I come back up here, which I will, look, the sun is coming out. Oh my God, the sun is coming out. See, that's what happens when you spread a lot of happiness around. Okay, so hit the like button and let's stay connected. Because then that way when I come up, I'll see you again. Okay, final and last thing I want to give you, maybe the reason you came. One of the ways that we reduce the stress in our life, you've heard it from so many people, is find the funny. In every situation in life, just look for the funny. It's there. I'm telling you, it's there. You can find it. I'll give you an example, and then I will hopefully see you all in the back of the room. We can chat back there. My stepson came to visit. My stepson. He was 17 years old. He was from New York City. He had a different way of, I don't know, he had a different lifestyle than my son did, and he came to visit us, and I could not get this kid to clean up his room no matter how I tried. He wore his pants, you know, down between his knees, and what's happening, you know, that kind of stuff. And I couldn't get him to clean up his room, and I tried everything. How many of you have children? Can I see your hands? That's not everyone. How many of you then were children? How many of you have grandchildren? Okay, perfect. Or, yeah, all right, then you're going to love this. If you cannot get your child to do what you want them to do, you can find something funny in it. So here's what I did. I looked at the situation and I said, he's not listening to me. I'm, begging and pleading and bribing and cajoling and threatening and, he wouldn't listen to me. And I thought, who would he listen to? Who would he listen to? Well, LL Cool J. That was his favorite performer, and if LL Cool J walked in the room and said, clean up your room, Michael, he would have done it. And I thought to myself, well, if he would listen to LL Cool J, why wouldn't he listen to LL Cool Mom? Right? Why wouldn't he do that? So, I just kind of wrote this little ditty, and you're more than welcome to use it if you would like to, too. Next time your son or daughter does not clean up their room, try this. Hit it. Here we go. All right, first thing you want to do is go out and get yourself some glasses. Okay? You ready? And then you get a hat, but you got to wear it the right way. Okay. Then you get a little bling. I have a little bit more. And then, that's right, you're a little funky. Okay, words go like this. Your room, dude, it's looking real bad. Your room, dude, you better listen to your dad. He's mad, real mad. Better pick up your clothes or the iPhone goes. Make up your head or the television's dead. Dude, I'm looking at you. Now you listen to me. It's not how it's gonna be. This ain't the hang of the free. There's a place, don't you see? I told you 15, 20 times, 35 times. The money's gonna stop. Your bubble's gonna pop. You better toe the line or your car is mine. That's right. Well, I can hear you squeal. What's the big deal? Well, let me tell you how I feel. Let me tell you how I feel. I'm a woman on the edge, a woman on the edge, a stressed out menopause woman